Jungkook BTS dominates global Spotify charts on Valentine's Day 2026, surpassing his own historic streaming record. On a day when love songs traditionally define the global soundtrack, one name rose above all others: Jungkook. As millions of listeners around the world searched for the perfect music to capture the emotion of Valentine's Day 2026, streaming data revealed an unmistakable pattern. Jungkook wasn't just present on the charts, he was dominating them. According to global streaming metrics shared across fan tracking platforms and industry observers, Jungkook officially became the most streamed male K-pop soloist on Spotify on the 14th of February 2026. His songs surged across romantic playlists in multiple countries, from the United States and Canada to Japan, Brazil, Indonesia, and across Europe. What made the moment even more historic was not simply the achievement itself, but the scale. Analysts noted that Jungkook didn't just reclaim his Valentine's streaming crown. He surpassed his own previous Valentine's records, reinforcing his position as one of the most emotionally resonant global artists of his generation. Streaming spikes on Valentine's Day are nothing new. Every year, listeners gravitate toward music that reflects intimacy, vulnerability, and emotional connection. But Jungkook's catalog demonstrated something deeper: longevity and emotional permanence. His songs didn't surge because of a new release timed for the holiday. They surged because listeners returned to them naturally, instinctively, as if his voice had become part of the emotional language of love itself. At the center of this streaming explosion were tracks from his debut solo album Golden, along with his global smash hit Seven. These songs have long been associated with themes of devotion, desire, and emotional openness. On Valentine's Day 2026, those themes resonated stronger than ever. Industry observers in the United States pointed out that Jungkook's streaming growth followed a pattern rarely seen in modern pop. Instead of fading after initial release cycles, his songs demonstrated recurring seasonal relevance. This phenomenon places him in the same category as legendary artists whose music resurfaces annually during emotional milestones. American streaming analysts describe the trend as emotional recurrence, a powerful indicator that Jungkook's music has transcended trend cycles and entered the realm of emotional tradition. In practical terms, this means listeners are no longer simply discovering Jungkook, they are returning to him. The global distribution of his Valentine streams also revealed his extraordinary geographic reach. His music ranked prominently in romantic playlists curated across multiple continents. From North America's Love Pop Essentials to Asia's Valentine's K-pop romance, Jungkook's voice became a shared emotional thread, connecting millions of listeners across cultures and languages. What makes this achievement particularly significant is its timing. Valentine's Day 2026 marked one of Jungkook's most visible periods since returning to public activity following military service obligations. His reemergence had already captured media attention due to brand partnerships, public appearances, and anticipation surrounding future music projects. The streaming data provided measurable proof that his musical influence had not only endured but intensified. For many artists, extended absences can disrupt streaming momentum. Audiences move on quickly in the digital era, constantly exposed to new content, but Jungkook defied that pattern. His Valentine's streaming dominance demonstrated continuity. His emotional connection with listeners remained intact, uninterrupted by time. Music industry insiders in Los Angeles and New York noted that this kind of resilience is extremely rare. It reflects not just popularity, but emotional loyalty. Emotional loyalty is the most valuable currency in modern streaming ecosystems. Listeners are not obligated to return to an artist's music. They do so because it fulfills emotional needs. Jungkook's ability to fulfill those needs repeatedly across years and global audiences positions him uniquely among contemporary artists. His success also reflects the power of authenticity in songwriting and vocal performance. Jungkook's vocal tone carries qualities that listeners consistently describe as warm, intimate, and emotionally transparent. These characteristics enhance the emotional realism of his music. His performances feel personal rather than performative, as though he is speaking directly to each listener. This perception strengthens emotional immersion. Streaming platforms amplify music that sustains listener engagement. Songs that evoke emotional responses are replayed more frequently, recommended more widely, and integrated into algorithm-driven playlists more consistently. Jungkook's Valentine's streaming surge reflects this dynamic in action. His songs are not simply consumed, they are experienced. Fan activity also played a role in amplifying visibility. Global fan communities celebrated his streaming milestones across social platforms, sharing listening achievements and encouraging participation in Valentine's streaming events. This coordinated enthusiasm contributed to increased visibility and algorithmic promotion. But industry analysts emphasize that fan coordination alone cannot sustain global dominance. Sustained streaming growth requires broader listener engagement beyond dedicated fan bases. Jungkook achieved precisely that. His Valentine's streaming data indicated widespread participation from general listeners, casual audiences, and new listeners discovering his music for the first time. This crossover appeal represents one of the defining features of his solo career. He is not confined to a single demographic. His audience spans age groups, cultures, and listening preferences. His ability to integrate into romantic playlists across multiple musical genres, from pop and R&B to acoustic and international playlists, demonstrates versatility. Versatility enhances streaming longevity. Listeners encounter his music in multiple emotional contexts, increasing exposure and familiarity. American pop culture commentators also connected Jungkook's streaming success to broader shifts in global music influence. They noted that his dominance reflects the normalization of Korean artists as central figures in global pop ecosystems rather than niche or regional phenomena. This normalization represents a cultural milestone. It confirms that language is no longer a barrier to emotional connection in music. Listeners respond to feeling first. Words become secondary. Jungkook's music communicates emotional truth that transcends linguistic boundaries. His Valentine's streaming record also reinforces his individual identity beyond his group work with BTS. While BTS remains one of the most influential music groups in history, Jungkook's solo achievements demonstrate his independent artistic gravity. This dual identity enhances his cultural influence. He exists simultaneously as part of a historic group and as an individual global artist. Few performers achieve both successfully. His streaming success also contributes to long-term brand value. Streaming numbers influence industry perception, partnership opportunities, and media narratives. Jungkook's continued dominance strengthens his negotiating power across multiple industries, including music, fashion, and global brand partnerships. Streaming data serves as measurable proof of cultural relevance. And Jungkook's numbers speak clearly. Valentine's Day 2026 did not introduce Jungkook's influence. It confirmed it. It demonstrated that his voice has become embedded in global emotional culture. It showed that listeners continue to choose his music during moments of vulnerability and connection. It proved that his artistry endures beyond promotional cycles, beyond headlines, beyond expectations. As streaming platforms continue to evolve,